Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Healing Stylist. I'm your host, Corinne Weekly, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into the topic I think every stylist can relate to, which is tough days behind the chair. We all have them. The days are nothing, the days that nothing seems to go right, where you feel drained physically, emotionally, and mentally. But I want you to know that you're not alone, and tough days don't have to define your career or define who you are or determine how your day goes. So, today we're going to talk about identifying causes, strategy, and how to get through them, and how to build resilience over time. So, the causes of tough days, let's start by identifying what a tough day looks like. And in the industry, that can mean a million things. Maybe you're dealing with a challenging client, maybe you've had a bunch of no-shows, cancellations, you had a client that was booked for 5 hours and just no-showed you, and the consultation didn't go as planned, or your client isn't happy with their service, and despite all the best efforts, maybe you're running behind schedule, and that alone can feel really overwhelming. And you've been there since 9 a.m., and it's now way past your scheduled time. And let's say you're off at 5 and it's now 7:30. And that all those scenarios can just mess up your day. And it's such a physical job. Long hours, standing all day, your back can hurt, whether you have sciatica, a bad knee, your elbow hurts, or you have carpal tunnel in your wrist. And those can play a factor into, having a bad day. It can really be a lot. So, some tips for a tough day, I'd say, is first pause and breathe. Definitely in between clients, and you just want to really take the time for yourself. And sometimes you have to self talk. Sometimes you have to go take a moment and hide in the bathroom, because I've had that happen to me. And I might stay in the bathroom a little longer than normal, and it's not always easy. I'm sure some of you have experienced that time where you just had to go take a 5 minute cry. It's very overwhelming. And you just really want to pause and reset in between each client, even when that service isn't going well. And I've over time have learned that I'm not going to let it stress me, because this profession is so unpredictable that it's very rare that I run behind, but when I do, I it is what it is. Like, why get upset? I can't control it. So when that next client come in, I just simply apologize, and hopefully they understand, and usually they do. It's and the ones that aren't willing to understand and they get upset, and unless it's something that you make a habit and you're doing constantly, then you should let that client go. They're not for you. You're human, and they love to call us magicians, but we're not magicians. We make things happen, but let's just call it what it is. We're human too. So, the self talk is a really big game changer for me. When my mind is spiraling, sometimes I am talking to myself, and I'll say I'm doing my best, or I'll call my husband and he'll tell me to reset, or he'll quote my own things like, take a chapter from your own playbook, and what did you say? If you can't handle it, then you need to go for a walk. Things of that nature. So sometimes I have to take my own advice as well. And it's not always easy taking your own advice, because you're so used to helping other people. So long-term resilience would be, but tough days aren't just about surviving in the moment. They're building resilience is key for thriving in this industry. One way to do that is by setting boundaries, You know, I talk and preach boundaries. I probably will say this every podcast, and I think I have. Learn to say no to overbooking or clients who drain you emotionally. Your time and energy is valuable. Another tip is to build a support system. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, and that one would be creating a salon culture. And starting with building a salon culture will really help you in the long run. And yes, sometimes we get into salons and it's not your job to create a salon culture, but you can teach people how you want to be treated. And you just really want to focus on building that salon culture. I can't express how much that has really changed a lot for me, especially coming from a salon that has changed me. And when I say changed me, it wasn't for the good. It had its moments, but then it's all about the people who are around you that can sometimes just, you don't even realize you're changing. And till one day you realize this isn't really who you are, and you start trying to project an image that you want and experience for your clients, and they either go with it or they keep disrespecting your boundaries. And it comes to a point where I actually stopped liking what I'm doing, but I realized it wasn't that I didn't like what I was doing, it was the people around me. So I had to change my salon culture, and that was also moving locations. And I knew I've always wanted to move locations. I think a lot of it was me being afraid to just do it because I'm scared of change and I have a hard time with change. But I was forced to change locations due to, construction in the salon and whatnot. And I'm so happy that happened because I went to a location that showed me that this is how it's supposed to be. So, another tip is to build yourself up, and whether that is coworkers, friends, family, or even online community like Facebook. And by the way, I do have a Facebook group now called the Healing Stylist, and it's a great community for uplifting each other. So, again, you really need to create that. Even if you're changing your timeline, like things that don't make you feel good, you should unfollow. Things that make you feel good, you should follow. And the role of perspective would be, here's the thing: tough days will come, but they don't last forever. Sometimes the challenges we face can teach us valuable lessons, whether it's about communication, boundaries, or even patience. Every tough day is an opportunity to grow, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. So remember, you're not defined by one bad interaction or one exhausting day. Your work matters, and the way you show up for your clients is making a bigger impact than you realize. And I think that is really big because there's days I've been through a lot the past 2 years, 3 years, and a lot of my clients didn't realize that I went through a very traumatic experience that related to my daughter, and I had to take my ex to court, and it was very emotionally draining. And although I would not want to ever experience something like this, I'm glad I experienced it because it taught me patience. Again, we're talking about a bad day. I'm talking about a bad few years. And I found the light in that by having a lot of patience. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned that I can do things, and I've learned to somewhat control my emotions. And the ups and downs resonate with all of that by saying I've had a lot of bad salon days and no one's realized it. And some of those clients that have realized it and know my story a little bit more and are a little bit more personal with me, they can speak for me and say that you would never really feel it. You will sit in my chair and you will feel like the queen. You will feel like the princess. Your day will just feel so much better. And I take a lot of pride in not bringing my drama into the salon, because I really take pride in giving people what they're wanting, especially when they're sitting in the chair, because I would want to give them what I would want. And I also had struggled with work home balance. So I've been working on taking that energy that I give in the salon and bringing it home by just trying to be a better partner to my husband. And sometimes that can be really hard, especially when you're already having a hard day in salon and then you have to come home and then still keep up that somewhat of that energy. But again, that's where you have to find balance, and that's where I'm still learning to do as well. So as I'm telling and sharing bits of my story with you guys, I'm also learning by sharing. So this is a win-win for everybody. And I may have gotten a little bit off topic, but the point is, you're not alone. We're all struggling. I still have things to work on. I still struggle to this day. And a lot of it is with my mental. And this is one of the reasons why I created my podcast. Because as I may be helping you, I'm also learning to help myself and take my own advice and just try to be that better person that I would like to be. And I'm really enjoying this growing journey, self-healing journey that I've been on for 2-3 years. And it has really opened some doors and made me realize some things. So with that being said, I want to hear from you. What's one of your toughest days behind the chair or in life? It doesn't have to be salon related. And how did you get through it? You can share your story with me on Facebook, or you can DM me at styledbycorrin or the Healing Stylist Hub on Instagram, and or join that Facebook group called the Healing Stylist. And just know that we're a whole community and we're here to support each other. And I'd like to thank you for tuning into my first live, well, not live, but my first face video podcast. I've kind of been thinking about transitioning into video, so let me know if you are liking this. It is a little nerve-wracking for me, but I have goals and things that I'd like to do, and you guys are helping me by giving me great feedback. And let me know if this was something you like, or do you guys prefer having just sound only. But I thought it'd be more personal to also be face to face, and great practice for me to get in front of the camera. And I want you to remember that tough days don't define you, they strengthen you. If you found this episode helpful, please share. Bye.